Hi, my name is Mark Johnson with iCEV, and we're super excited that you're joining us today for the iCEV Family and Consumer Sciences User Panel. We're just going to have a panel discussion and go through some questions. I'd love to go around the room. We've got three awesome family and consumer science teachers from around the country, actually all over the country, east to west. So I will, at this time, just start with Ms. Satterfield. If you can introduce yourself, that would be awesome.
Absolutely. My name is Samantha Satterfield. I am a CTE teacher at Sevier County High School in Sevier County, Tennessee. I teach two of programs of study. One program of study is Human and Social Sciences, and the other one is Teaching as a Profession, K through 12.
Awesome. Ms. Collins?
Hi, my name is Ray Collins. I teach at Sherbrooke High School in Sherbrooke, New Mexico. I teach foods too, and as well as driver's education.
Exciting. And Ms. Benham, I'll move to you.
Hi, I'm Gretchen Benham. I actually come from a little bit different background. I work with the charter school, and we are an independent study charter school here in California. We service children basically all over Southern California, and we've been doing virtual learning for a long time. So this is a lot more comfortable for me than it might be for a lot of people. I have students in TK through 12 that I work with for their curriculum and assessments and everything else. And then I also am a CTE teacher, and I teach two education classes. They're called Working with Children, and then Working with Children for Real is the completer. And then I also actually teach earth science to high school students virtually as well. So I kind of have a mismatched background of teaching.
I love the diversity. That's really neat to see that all three of you kind of have different things you focus on, and I think the audience will really benefit from that. So at this time, we'll get started. We're just going to go through a few questions and have each one of you answer them. Very simple, but please share your thoughts and ideas. The first question would be, how do you utilize iCEV in your courses that you teach and in your classroom? I'll start with Ms. Collins.
I use iCEV in my classroom. I really like the lesson plan portion because it kind of helps me to plan my courses for the year, because it is a year-long class for myself. And so it helps me so that way I can figure out how many days I can spend on particular projects, particular subject topics, things like that. And it also allows me to kind of coordinate in the testing times that our school does. And so that way I can make sure that I'm not overwhelming them during the testing, time frame at our school, so that way they can have those fun times during that time. So that kind of helps me out, as well as, the grading portion, because it, kind of allows me to see it real quick. And so those things are really beneficial for me. So that way I can, engage my students a little bit better.
Wonderful. Ms. Benham?
Oh, I just love iCEV. It is not only does it make it easier to plan, which it definitely does, they offer great extension activities, which are really engaging to kids. And oftentimes those extension activities tweak my mind a little bit to think, wow, I could even take this further and do this. And so it really does help extend the curriculum and enrich the curriculum, as well as giving great foundational information just from a direct instruction standpoint.
Neat. That's exciting. Ms. Satterfield?
Yes. So iCEV is my main source of curriculum for my classroom. And so in Sevier County, we are on a one-to-one initiative. So my students have iCEV in their laps, on the tables, at home, in different areas. And so it's really beneficial to have that for my students. And so it just gives them that added benefit of being able to utilize all the different areas of iCEV, but in particular, I have the capability to select which items that I have my students use. And so it's definitely a benefit for me in my classroom.
You're able to customize. That's neat. Next question, what is your favorite feature? I know there's a lot of different features on iCEV, but certainly you probably have one that stands out. So Ms. Benham, I'll let you take that.
Oh God, you know what? Honestly, I think my favorite feature, and this is going to sound really weird, but is your help desk. You guys are amazing. Everything at iCEV is great, but we have a lot of different online services, or the LMSs, or whatever you want to call them, for that we use. But Canvases is far and above the best as far as customer service. I have literally been 15 minutes out from a class and something goes wrong, and your customer service is on top of it, and I'm able to start class on time.
That's exciting, and I know my customer service team is going to be thrilled to see that.
Well, they do a great job.
Thank you very much. We appreciate them, and they allow us to really help you guys. So I'm glad you said that. Ms. Satterfield, I'll go to you next.
One of my favorite features of iCEV is the ability that iCEV is either available for me to print off, or it's available virtually for my students. Our classrooms are very diverse, and in that we should embrace that. So I have the ability to be able to print things off for my students that may be going homebound, or even for those homebound students to be able to access the material virtually, but also bringing back to the customization point where I can really customize what my semester is going to look like for each of my students, usually based on their ability level as well.
Neat. Ms. Collins?
I think the best feature that I like, and my students have come to like, is the interviews from the people in the field that, of the food services that they've seen. They like that because it's more hands-on. They're getting the information from those professionals. And so they understand, and they're starting to tie in that, what we're doing in class is actually more of a profession. It can lead to different types of careers that they can possibly delve into that they didn't really think of before. Where we are, it's very, fast food oriented. And so they don't understand that there are, they could be an entrepreneur themselves. They could own their own restaurant. Things like that. And so that kind of helps them see that's possible. And so that's one of the things that I really enjoy.
Yeah, those real world experiences are really neat. And I think having those interviews allows you to really bring in guest speakers anytime you want. So exactly. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's neat. Next question is, what is one strategy that you've used with iCEV which has worked in your classroom? I know all of your classrooms are different, but if you could think of one strategy that really resonated with your students, that would be awesome. I'll start with you, Ms. Collins.
I think one strategy that we have used is the vocabulary. A lot of them, we're very ELL in our school. And so we have a lot of students that are very limited in their language because they do come from diverse backgrounds. And so hearing the academic language in the, PowerPoints, or when we're talking, they actually are able to utilize all of that from the iCEV curriculum. And so they can even print out the vocabulary if they need to. I like the vocabulary questionnaire, the test that you can give them, so that way they can apply it. And so that's one strategy I like, especially for the ELL students.
That's neat. Absolutely. Ms. Satterfield?
I like to utilize direct instruction in my classroom, and I like to couple that with iCEV because iCEV provides either videos that I could kind of bounce ideas back and forth, but I also like the PowerPoints that is provided to us as teachers. In that, iCEV allows my students to practice and master self-directed learning. This is used in a lot of the materials that being available right at their fingertips. But it serves as a facilitator for students to kind of take that learning and utilize it to become lifelong learners.
That's great. Ms. Benham?
I'm going to tag off of that. I definitely use it for my direct instruction. I actually, because I'm teaching education classes, I have the students present So they may not even know the material yet, but they help present during the class by presenting from the PowerPoint itself. And then we have them go back in independently and complete the worksheets and complete the quizzes and do the vocabulary. So we incorporate all of that into there, and it makes a great whole learning experience for the kids because they're practicing teaching, which really helps when they get in the second year of the class because they're now working with students in a classroom. And so they feel very comfortable because they've been presenting material all along throughout the course. So
Yeah, that's empowering. That's really neat. It's amazing when you do empower students how effective it is. So that's exciting. Next question. We just have a couple more. You know, we're going to have people from all over the country, and some are current customers. Some have never even heard of us before. So what advice would you offer to anyone that's using iCEV for the first time, even maybe for any of those folks in the classroom? Ms. Satterfield, I'll let you start.
Well, as we know, technology is ever evolving. It looks different today than what it did yesterday. And the biggest thing I can stress to my colleagues, to people I come into contact with, is don't be afraid of that. You know, reach out to the iCEV team if you ever need assistance. I have actually been in the middle of a class and discreetly been able to reach out to iCEV, and my students had no idea what was going on, but I was able to get the help that I needed. And so help is always fair. You know, like it's been mentioned before, the help desk is right there at your fingertips. You don't have to necessarily get on a phone call in the middle of class. You can just discreetly be at your computer, you know, getting the resources you need. iCEV just provides an abundance of resources, guidelines for you to use. You won't go back. Once you utilize iCEV in your classroom, it's something that's going to be for you personally lifelong, and you're going to share it with other people as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. Ms. Benham?
I'm going to have to say once again, ditto. You two are amazing. You guys are hitting so many things that I wanted to say too. Yeah, definitely. It is, it's life-changing. I've actually incorporated it into some of our, we offer one in-house summer school program, health, and we've been able to pull this in and use it for health as well. So even though that's not technically family consumer services, there's so many extensions that you can make into other areas of curriculum. Within education or within the family consumer services, there is a lot, there's first aid, there's a lot of different areas that you can pull it into. There are science classes in there, you guys. It's amazing. I mean, this is family consumer services, and I'm able to pull things out and put them into science classes occasionally. Obviously, with letting iCEV know that we're doing this. We don't want to be using their material for things that we aren't authorized to use it for, but the extensions are just innumerable, and you will find so many ways and so many different areas besides just the designated CTE area where you can use these things. It's amazing.
Yeah, we appreciate the creativity. Keep going. Ms. Collins?
I think that one thing that I would have to say is it's very user-friendly. I haven't had too many problems with it, you know, but it's definitely good for an instructor to help, and it also allows you to go at your own pace at particular times. And then it also gives you, you know, activities, other things that you can use to help with all of those topics that you're going over, so that way your students stay engaged, and you know, you can utilize, you know, all of the technology that we are currently in. You know, it even asks, there are some times where they may have to ask for a blog, you know, that's something that they've never tried before, and they end up liking that, and you know, it could lead them somewhere else. So things like that, you know, it's very beneficial. You know, there's so many things that iCEV offers that's just so engaging for students. I haven't had any complaints from any of my students. They do like, you know, how they can do it and they can follow along as I'm doing the direct instruction with the PowerPoints. if they want something printed out, I can print it out for them. There's just so many avenues that you can use iCEV with that is just beneficial for the classroom in general, with the different subjects as well. So I really enjoy it. So I hope they do too.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Last question. So we're going to wrap it up with tips or tricks. So I know everyone has a different style, and there's, again, a lot of information. So you may have a tip or a trick that might help a teacher that's out there. So Ms. Benham, I'll let you start.
Watch the videos, watch the help videos. They are so helpful. They have helped me better incorporate technology into these classes, better incorporate what iCEV has to offer. Again, reach out to the support people. They're amazing. You guys, I've called at 2 a.m. California time and someone still answers the phone. That's unheard of. It's absolutely unheard of in educational technology. Hi, I'm sorry, it's after 5 p.m. There is no one available to help you is what you usually hear. And I'm busy doing schoolwork during the school day. So all of those things, utilize what iCEV has offered to you as support, and it's just wonderful.
Thank you very much. Ms. Collins, tips or tricks?
One of the tips that I really enjoy is how many times the students get to take a test or a quiz that's on iCEV. But when you go into the grade book, it also lets you see all of the number of chances that they've taken it. And so if you want to, you can take those averages and that will be their grade, and it also gives you that information, of the time stamp and everything like that. Because unfortunately, I have students, that are like, I did take that. I can go into my grade book on the iCEV and be like, well, I'm looking right here and I don't see a grade. The last time you took it was on this day. And so, if they don't hit submit or anything, I have that proof and that documentation to help me, so that way they don't try and skirt around. And that's kind of a benefit for me. But then they also know that they can't blame it on the technology, because it has it there, and even has how many times they've attempted it. May, if they did submit it, it doesn't come up right away, you can call, like Gretchen said, and they can answer, let me check, and they can reboot it and then it'll show. So things like that, that's beneficial as a teacher. And that's one of the tips that, I really enjoy using, so that way my students, we can stay on top of it together, and they know that I have access to all of them. And it allows me the number of times I can change how many times they do something on the curriculum, which I enjoy.
Awesome. Ms. Satterfield, we'll let you wrap it up.
Well, my answer is kind of twofold. Student licenses, get them. I started my first year using iCEV, and I did not utilize student licenses. I was like, oh, it's something I probably don't need. The entire year, I was struggling because with the student licenses, the second part of my answer, it allows you to utilize the assessments that have been provided, but also take the time to create your own. iCEV has a platform where you can create assessments. I was even looking through it the other day. You can have your students answer back using a voice recording through iCEV. The assessment portal on iCEV that allows you to create assessments is just an overabundance of how do you want your assessments to look like. So the student licenses coupled with the assessment generator, I guess as you could call it, utilize that for your students. You have the ability to use the iCEV pre-created questions, or you could create them and couple that together just to make a wonderful experience for every single one of your students.
Thank you very much. What an awesome panel. That was a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to sharing this with all of the folks that do join us for the conference. We will have a Q&A that follows this the day of the conference when this is live, and we hope that you can join us. But most importantly, I know everyone's busy. There's a lot going on, and we just really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to share your thoughts and ideas with all of the folks that are going to attend our first annual virtual conference, which we're super excited about. and hopefully you can join us that day as well. So again, thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time and have a wonderful day.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.